Welcome to the forecast. To my right, we have APAT and Alex. How you doing?
Hello, everyone.
And to my left, GW himself, Gary. How you doing?
Doing good.
This is the Wednesday Comics Forecast. My name is Marvin here. We're telling you the comics coming out for August 1st, 2018. That is the first day of August, also the first week of August. The first Wednesday of August, and we're here the first of 5, right, Alex?
You know it. Of course.
We're here to tell you the comic books coming out so you know what to pick up at your local comic shop or online. This is Image Comics Leviathan. Number 1, this is John Layman and Nick Parata. Series premiere for Ryan DeLucas. Didn't buy enough beer for his party, and while he was out on a beer run, his idiot buddies busted out some mythical arcana and performed a summoning ceremony, ceremony that summoned a giant monster from hell. Joined by multiple Eisner Award-winning John Layman and Eisner-nominated artist Nick Petata, that's from Manhattan Project. I knew it. Look at that cover, you know.
There you go.
Along with a
I was trying to figure out where I knew that artist from.
Along with a soon-to-be nominated for Best Colors, Michael Garland, also Manhattan Projects, for the eye-popping, face-melting, reality-defying, non-stop brush of pure adrenaline. Alex, you're the one who told me about this book, and you asked how I was getting it. What turned you on in this book? Is it about the dinosaurs? On the dinosaurs monsters?
A part of it was that it was Monsters 2. It was John Layman. I thought, Marvin said such good things about Chew. We're getting that book Farmhand, which I realize is from the artist of Chew. I was like, you know what? I might as well get a non-Chew book from the two Chew writers and see if I like it. I know that you always said that Layman was a funny guy and writes fairly good stuff. I thought, I'll give it a try. Why not?
Yeah, he's a great writer. Chew's a great book in terms of art and writing. So I think any of these two books are going to be a home run, at least enough to check out. They have good enough ideas where I would check them out too. And you have the artist from the Manhattan Project. That book always looked great. So it's a little weird style. They like to draw really gross stuff. So I assume that's a perfect fit for this book. But we'll see. I will pick it up too. Check it out.
The preview for it was awesome.
Preview for it was awesome. Image Plus and also on the back of some Image Comics this week, according to what Alex said. So if you've seen it and you think it looks interesting, I would say it's probably a good shot. John Layman's a good writer. So Paper Girls number 23, Brian K. Vaughan, Cliff Chang. New friends are silver, but old friends may be the only ones who can help the Paper Girls survive the year 2171. They just announced that Brian K. Vaughan is taking a break on Saga, so this could be the only Brian K. Vaughan book we get for a second. What do you think, Paper Girls number 23?
I would say the last couple issues have been really strong. I think getting over the hurdle that you really can't care about continuity for this book makes it more enjoyable. So I'm enjoying it for what it is, and obviously Cliff Chang's art's amazing. So
I think issue 22 may have been the best issue I've read from Paper Girls in a while. It seemed to have the best, at least most coherent story, and they actually called back to other things that we've been introduced to. So I was like, I know who that character is.
7 to Eternity number 10. This is Rick Remender and Jeromo Pena. He's back. New story arc, The Springs of Zal, Part 1. Adam Osiris and the Mud King travel the wastelands to the mystical Springs of Zal, which promise a cure for Adam's fatal disease, and the offer of the God of Whispers fulfilled. But when you deal with the devil, how soon before he lay claims to your soul? It's been gone for a second. I think they realize that they got to wait for Pena to do this art. So here you are back with it. Alex, when's the last time we had an issue of this? Do you remember?
Oh, dude, it's got to be at least 7 months, 8 months.
I'll check that out. You tell me. Looking forward to this?
I'm looking forward to getting back into it. And issue 9, I remember leaving a really good taste in my mouth, but I'm also apprehensive. Rick Remender's been kind of a hit or miss kind of writer for me. Some of his books are top notch, other ones are kind of subpar. So this may be one of those, I don't know, it fulfills that fantasy want from me. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually super excited for it, if I'm just excited to see that art come back, because I think Opena does a great job on the book. He just needs to be able to stay caught up on it.
So you said 8 months, so you think the beginning of December was the last issue?
Yeah.
Garrett, what do you want to guess?
Even earlier, maybe like September.
Well, Garrett, September 6, 2017 was the last time number 9 came out. So almost a whole year.
Boom.
We are about, and I guess we'll just call it August 1st. Yeah, I guess it is August 1st. So we're 11 months ago. We got the last issue. So, I mean, it's very hard to get into a book that's been gone for 11 months, especially a book like this, which wasn't that far into it. I mean, the players are there, right? Rick is a good writer when he wants to be. Opinia is a great artist. The story was interesting enough at the beginning, so hopefully we get back to that spot we were. But then again, like, did they shoot themselves in the foot by being on for 11 months? We'll see, I guess. The Walking Dead, number 182. This is Robert Kirkman, and Charlie Allred. John, the Savage, new leader of the Saviors, has turned over a new leaf just in time for an alliance with the Commonwealth. Garrett, what do you think? Walking Dead, number 182. We're close to that 200th issue. And where do you think we go from here?
You know what? I'm pretty close to dropping this book. I just think the story is becoming so boring. And, like, just reading that solicit, nothing about that solicit excites me at all. Like, it has nothing to do with anything. It's a rehash story with different characters. I don't know how much longer I can stay on this book. I think I'm almost at wit's end, and I'm going to make sure before Wednesday that I read 181, and if that's not the best issue I've read in a long time, then I think I'm going to drop it. Which just sucks, because this book has been good over time, but it's just...
We're at a point now where it's like, it's not consistent enough and there's nothing new, where it just feels like the same old, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything that I can be like if there was a timeline from this wouldn't even make a blimp on a timeline, this storyline that's been happening so far.
Yeah, this is a book too I've been thinking about for a second. So actually I am, it makes me feel a little better that you feel the same way. I was like, do I drop this book? 182 issues in. I've read every single issue. It's not like I'm coming to this thing and only read, like I caught up recently. Like, I've been reading this thing 182 issues. That's a long time to be invested in these characters. But I think I'm with you. Like, there's nothing new. I can't watch the same characters make the same mistakes. Can't have the same problems. And, like, never move on. I actually haven't read this book in a hot minute because...
It's boring.
It's boring. It really is. And I think Alex asked us, like, 3 months ago, what would it take you to drop The Walking Dead when you're this far in? And I think we've reached that point. I think this is it.
Well, I think in the last probably 4 months, 5 months, maybe even half a year, I haven't heard you guys say anything good about this book since Sugar Rush or Candy Cane or Sweet something or another. I don't know what her name is. Princess. Since Princess showed up, I haven't heard you guys say anything really that good.
Even that was based on potential. It wasn't even like what actually happened. It was me and Garrett were excited for somebody new. Like, oh, she seems different. But she falls into the same plot lines as somebody else, and it just becomes more of the same. And I think that they are I think Kirkman is focusing more on the TV show nowadays. And he has a new book coming out.
And that's going to shit, so it's like...
So I don't know. I don't know what it is, and it just feels like more of the same. And I think, Alex, to answer your question for 3 months ago, what would make me drop this book is them not deciding to do anything new. And I think we reached that point. I guarantee you if they go to issue 200, I mean, they are going to go to issue 200. Issue 200 is going to be exactly like around issue, 150 or 100, where All Out War happened. There'll be another big event like that. I guarantee you that's what it is. Like, there's nothing going to be... There's no more subtlety in this series. There's no more really character study. All it's about is you've never... Like, everything changes here. You'll never expect who's going to die in this book and what happens. And I'm not interested in that anymore. I'm interested in these characters. I'm interested in seeing how they survive. And we constantly get put into situations where we're worrying about them. You know, like, you're like, why are you doing that, Rick, dude? Like, literally, the last 6 people you met betrayed you, and they go to these guys being like, hey, let's go check them out. No, stay away.
Yeah, it's like, maybe this could work.
Question for you. Are there different kinds of zombies, or are they all just walkers? Or stalkers, or whatever they are?
Mostly.
See, that's one of those things. Then you almost need to, if you're going to keep going on, you need to make these zombies a little more either aggressive, or you need to have, not to steal from Left 4 Dead, but have specials. Have these creatures that have been mutated and, they've been going for years and they've gotten a hold of something else and they've mutated even more. Not that they have to have powers, but have them be like a tank and a big burly thing. I don't know. You get just even hearing it that there aren't any change in zombies. It just sounds boring. There's nothing new to build on other than who should we kill off next, or who's sleeping with who, or who. I don't know. I'm not even interested in it, and I didn't care to begin with.
IDW Publishing. This is TMNT. Bebop Rocksteady hit the road. Number 1 of 5. Ben Bates, Dustin Weaver. Ben Bates also on art. Everyone's favorite mutated masters of mayhem. Bebop and Rocksteady are road tripping back to NYC, but before they get started on their journey across America, they run into a crazy old enemy who's bent on derailing their trip before it can begin. Alex, what do you think of miniseries of Bebop and Rocksteady, 2 of your favorite characters? What do you think about this book?
Oh, I am all for it. They did one I believe it was last August. They did Bebop and Rocksteady destroys the universe or something. It was okay. It's not really that great, but it is kind of fun to see these moronic characters have their own little book because they're not in the main series, they're not even in universe. So it's nice to know at least there's some reference to them and they actually get their own miniseries. So I'm all for it.
TMNT Universe number 25. Ian Flynn and Nelson Daniels on art. Leonardo tests his fledgling abilities on the astral plane only to find himself dangerously outmatched when he comes face to face with the villainous Kintsu. Did I say that, Alex?
Yeah, I think I say Kitsune.
Kitsune. What do you think about TMNT Universe?
They've really brought in the horizons for what the Turtles can do. They finally got Mikey to be less of that jokester all the time. Raph actually has a sensitive side. Donnie is just kind of in that middle. I mean, they've kind of humanized these characters more. And then you get into this. Leonardo has the ability to go into the astral plane or the astral dimension or whatever you want to call it. So he leaves his body physically and goes into the spirit realm. And I think it's really great because it makes sense for Leo to actually have that mastery and that technique like Master Splinter would. So by all means, Universe is amazing. I love this book.
Here we go with DC Comics Adventures of the Super Sons. Number 1 of 12. This is Peter J. Tomasi and Carlo Bambieri and Art Thambert on art. Covered by Dan Mora. The Super Sons are back in an all-new 12-issue miniseries written by Peter J. Tomasi. Check out the Lost and Secret Adventures of Damian Wayne and John Kent in this flashback series that takes a deep dive into bombastic romance between the sons of the DC Universe's greatest heroes. It's an epic dual story that transcends current events as Superboy and Robin find themselves targets of an interstellar team of young badasses called the Gang. Garrett, what do you think? Adventures of Super Sons. This is a miniseries, 1 of 12. Peter J. Tomasi. I know you enjoyed Super Sons, but this takes place before Man of Steel, before what happens to John. So it's kind of like Justice 12, and it's just going to be, I guess you would call it out of continuity, out of the current continuity, kind of. Are you curious to check this out?
100%. I'm so excited for this book. Like, what Bendis is doing, or what he's done with Jonathan Kent, I think is a shame. I don't think it is good story. I mean, I don't think it's fair to do that. I mean, you can read the spoilers online what happens to Jonathan Kent when we'll see him next. But I'm so excited for just Damian and John hanging out, doing what they do best, working together, just like their fathers did before them. I think this is also going to be Peter Tomasi's chance. I guarantee he's going to be poking some jabs at Bendis the entire time. But art team, I trust Tomasi as a writer, so very excited. And that Dan Mora cover looks sweet.
Batman number 52. This is Tom King and Lee Weeks. Cold Days continues. Alex, what do you think about the last issue, post 50 of Batman with Lee Weeks on art?
I loved it. It is what a way to pick up that book again from issue 50, where I know hypocritically I said it was good one time, then I told you it wasn't. Issue 51, excellent. Honestly, probably one of my favorite issues I've read in the last couple weeks.
Injustice 2.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Well, as I said, it actually makes me even more excited to get farther into this book. You got Bruce is the only person who goes, I don't think Freeze is guilty. Spoilers. And we get to see where it goes from there. And I think Lee Weeks is one of those artists I hope that makes a return more frequently than he has, because I think he does a great job.
Marvin, I am back on Green Arrow this issue.
You are?
Because this is the Bensons coming on.
All right, there we go. Green Arrow number 43. Seattle's in for a serious shakeup. When Green Arrow crosses quivers with a new vigilante hero dubbed the Citizen, who's hell-bent on exposing the corrupt and criminal 1%ers operating in the Emerald City. Green Arrow initially applauds their efforts until the Citizen turns judge, jury, and executioner. Can you guess what believing billionaire is next on his hit list? Also, a little birdie told us that help for Oliver is on the way, but we're not singing who it is just yet. Is this for Julie Benson, Shauna Benson, and Javier Fernandez? Oh, heavy. There you go. That's pretty good.
Now, who's the cover artist, too?
And
Alex Maleev, baby.
The covers. It looks like a great round team. Garrett, you jumping back on, you said?
I'm jumping back on, full steam ahead. I've been, ever since Benjamin Percy left this book and took some of those artists with him, been needing some Green Arrow in my life. And finally, I know this team's going to be on for a long time, and they're going to deliver a great story for the next, hopefully, year or two to come. If Javier Fernandez is a rotating artist on this book, that'll be because he did great art on Nightwing. And I did read that annual a couple months back that the Bensons wrote, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm ready to get back into the world of Oliver Queen.
Injustice 2, number 31. If you want to get a book that anything can happen in, here you go. DC rules are off the table, and anything goes. Justice League number 5, James.
I just want to say one thing about that. This series is great, but when's the fucker going to end?
When Injustice 3 comes out.
I said
oh my God.
You would know more than us.
I know.
Dude, Gary, this is one of those things that because one person bought all the books, they keep making more games, more comics. It's never going to stop as long as that game keeps selling.
Well, it's leading to a big event, and I'm just I love it. Don't get me wrong, but 31 issues of a prequel comic to a game. I guess I got 5 years of a prequel to the first one. So, it's probably around for the long haul, but I'm just
yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't end anytime soon, especially when they're doing miniseries with other properties. This thing does not end.
All right. It's going to go for a while. But I'm just curious because I'm man, this is a very in-depth story to get to the game.
Justice League number 5, James Tynion IV, Doug Mahnke, and Jaime Mendoza. Lex Luthor's back in the present, just trying to live his best life after seeing what the future could have held for him. Luthor's new mantra, embrace your doom. So now he's rounding out the new Legion of Doom to go on a cosmic wilding and establish himself as the biggest baddie in the DCU. In full recruiting mode, Luthor approaches both Sinestro and Gorilla Grodd to join his new team. He doesn't exactly have a twist any arms. They all got a matching 401k plan and great bennies after all. Great bennies, what does that mean? Benjamins. Here we go. The Legion of Doom episode issue. James Tynion IV on this issue. What do you think, Alex? I know you've been kind of critical of Justice League. If you turned it around, or you still think the same thing?
I actually enjoyed issue 3 and 4. I thought they were well written, and I actually really did have a good time reading them. Not super excited. I don't know. Tynion isn't that big of a deal for me. It's just I've had some books where I think he's a great writer, and I have other books where I'm you're kind of hit or miss for me. So I guess we'll see. But I'm pretty excited to see Legion of Doom show up. I still find it weird that Joker's on this team. He seems to be just so much of a loose cannon and kind of he's a ballsy bet to make if he's on your team. He could either stab you in the face or stab someone else in the face for you. So, bring it on. I'm ready to see these supers fight them. But if you've read issue 4, shit's kind of getting kind of hairy and a little scary. So We'll find out. See, I rhymed right there. Watch out. This book. Marvin, are you getting this anymore?
But we talked about this last week or whenever it came out last, number 4. This was a book that I had on my pull list, but it never showed up there, so I haven't received it. So I even thought this book wasn't coming out anymore. But obviously Justice League is still going to come out, so I'm behind. I think I only got over issue 1, so I got to go back and catch up on this thing. But I am excited to catch up. I mean, this is not something I quit on, and judging from our sensibilities, I think I would enjoy this more than you, Alex, but also like I might not enjoy it so much. It depends. There's things that you like and things I like, and sometimes we're both on it, and I think I'll like it. I don't know. We'll have to go back and check. This issue, having James Tynion and having that team, it does interest me a lot. So I'll go back and probably catch up here.
Once you get past issue 2, because issue 2 I thought was a lot of words, a lot of bubbles. Excuse me. Issue 3 was great. I liked issue 4 a lot. So it makes me excited for issue 5.
Mr. Miracle number 10 of 12. This is Tom King and Mitch Gerads. The Eisner Award-winning Mitch Gerads. Congratulations. He just won an award last weekend for Best Artist. Darkseid has put an offer on the table, something that can end the war before New Genesis and Apocalypse. Once and for all, the stakes are high, but peace is important. Mr. Miracle finds himself caught having to make a decision that won't just change his new life he's building, but potentially the entirety of the universe. Spoilers for Mr. Miracle if you are catching up. Last issue, Dark says, hey, we can end all of this, just give me your son. And now Mr. Miracle has to make a decision. I think this issue, I'm going to take over for you guys. Usually I ask you, but I'm going to say has potential to be one of the greatest ones. That last one, that cliffhanger is a gut punch. And I think, how does he react to it? I'm not sure. He might give him up and he might not. Garrett, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Darkseid is here basically. So he threw the MacGuffin down, and it's like, yeah, that'd be the hardest decision ever. Like, that's like one of those heroes' decisions where there's two equally weighing things, and you'd be insane not to pick the one, but is it being selfish to pick that one choice, like saving his son versus saving people? So, and that cover by Nick Darrington for Darkseid is awesome. Very much looking forward to this. I can't believe there's only 3 issues left. I wish this was an ongoing, but hey, all the good things have to end. So,
Nightwing number 47, Ben Percy and Chris Mooneyham, Klaus Jensen also on this book. What do you think, Alex? Are you reading Nightwing still?
I'm still getting it.
And how is Ben Percy doing?
He's actually doing a pretty good job. I think I mentioned it on 46 that it actually feels like Dick Grayson's getting to be a little bit of a detective in Nightwing. I feel like this bad guy actually has kind of a stake. Like, he's actually a decent villain. Like, when we got the judge in Sam Humphries, it was good, but it kind of went too long. I'm hoping that this arc is maybe another 1 issue, 2 issues long, wraps it up nicely. Either Nightwing will lose or Nightwing wins. But I feel like this has gotten to be pretty decent. It's not maybe the best I've ever read, but it's still pretty darn good.
Marvel Comics, Astonishing X-Men number 14, Matthew Rosenberg, Greg Land. Alex, this is continuing that was once miniseries, now ongoing book of Astonishing X-Men. You claim it's the best X-Men book in the market. Is it still that way?
I would at least give issue 13 a run. That was a great issue. I really enjoyed it. It's got characters that I like, and I want to be in an X-Men book, but I can't get any of those colored titles. I don't want gold. I don't want blue. I don't want red. I've tried them all. I haven't liked them. And Astonishing X-Men, I have enjoyed. At least from issue 13 was great. Issue 1 through 12, it was fine. But when I was thinking it was supposed to be, its whole story was 12 issues long. It was supposed to be a mini or maxi or whatever you want to call it. Once I found out that it was ongoing, I was like, oh, hell yeah, bring it on. And it had different characters, which was exciting. So give it a try if you want.
Astonishing X-Men, there you go. Captain America number 2, Takesi Coates and Linnell Francis Yu. Winter in America continues, distrusted by a nation that seems to have lost faith in him. Steve Rogers is a man out of time and out of options, working a now unsanctioned Captain America turned for aid and assistance in order to stem the rise of the cabal of influence brokers known as the Power Elite. I think, Garrett, I'm not speaking out of school here when I say that this book was pretty great, the first issue, and I think we all gave it 10s, I believe, if I remember correctly. What do you think about Captain 2?
Amazing. So excited. That cover's amazing by Alex Ross. Ta-Nehisi Coates is a great writer. Lionel Francis Hugh is a great artist. Like, literally, Captain America is probably the best it's been in years, and I've only read one issue. I'm so excited for issue 2. Wow. This is Captain America.
I think it's hard to not be excited for it when you're actually getting a captain. Where all those other ones we're getting something that was, it had Captain's name on it, but it didn't feel like it. What? And kind of like you said, I haven't read a lot of Captain, but that first issue was enough to pretty much seal the deal. Captain is, as long as Coates is staying on it, that book will never go wrong. Yeah,
it's pretty great right now. I mean, it's reminding me, and once again, one issue, but still, like, I get flashbacks of like how great Ed Rubiker's run was, and I think we'll get something to that level, especially of the political storyline that we're getting. And I'm just finally okay with no more, and it was enjoyable. Like, Rick Remender's run was Cap and Dimension Z, and we had, we just came from Wade's run, which was about like a future descendant of Cap, and also he was out of time and a different, like, in the future. And he is a man out of time, but he's in our time, and I like the way Cap sees the world and comments on it as somebody who's not from this time, to comment on like how are things supposed to be, because he comes from a time when the dream was still alive, and now the dream has an expiration date, and he doesn't know if it should be left to die or if he should bring it back. So it's pretty good right now. Cosmic Ghost Rider number 205, Donny Cates, Dylan Burnett. The writer is out to change the universe for the better, starting with an idea so simple you cannot believe no one has ever done it before. With all the things worth doing, it's not going to be easy. For one thing, space sharks. For another, let's just say it's never good to run into Galactus during a bar fight. Alex had in the last issue, he strapped Thanos to the bike and said, "Adios, let's go." What do you think about Cosmic Ghost Rider?
Issue 1 started off kind of slow, ended so solid. If we keep on that track, this book is going to be an amazing 5-issue run by Donny Cates. This cover, spectacular. Love me some giant sharks. You got the Megalodon right there in Space World. I'm kind of hoping that the Ghost Rider turns around and just drives right up its back and kills it. I'm all for this book, and I think Donny Cates knows how to handle a 5-issue run. So I'm giving him the reins on this book.
Immortal Hulk number 4, Al Ewing, Joe Bennett, Alex Ross on that cover. Walter Lankowski is an ex-football star, a space diplomat, and a beloved superhero. Walter Lankowski is charming, healthy, and outgoing. Walter Lankowski is the opposite of Bruce Banner, and Walter Lankowski is going to die today because he went looking for a banner and found the Immortal Hulk. Garrett, what do you think? You had said this was like a Monster of the Week kind of book, showing you the horrors of the Hulk, and here we are, issue 4. Still going strong?
Yeah, I just read issue 2, so I guess I haven't read issue 3 yet, but it is doing that one-shot horror type storytelling, and yes, obviously the A storyline is Bruce freaking out because he doesn't want to be the Hulk, but it's amazing. Al Ewing is killing it with this book. He understands who the Hulk is, where the fears of becoming the Hulk are from for Bruce Banner. And Joe Bennett has a great way of drawing just chilling art to help work with what Ewing's trying to do. And I get terrified each issue. There's one thing that happens, or at least in the first 2 issues, and I'm like, holy shit, did that just happen? So very excited. For the record,
issue 3 is great.
Okay, good.
So there we go. I think actually, if as a rule so far, anybody who was jumping on one of these new books during Marvel's refresh, is that what it's called? I think so. Anybody that was new coming on a book, I think those books are actually pretty strong because they're doing something different. For instance, Captain America, this book. But anybody who's been around for a while, I think we all agree that Thor really isn't, doing hot. Even though once it was my top 5 a little bit ago, the last series was actually pretty great. but I think we're getting more of the same there. So I like the new directions they're taking this book. Hulk and Captain America, and Hulk. Cap's kind of going back to its roots, where Hulk is like actually kind of going back to its roots too, because back in the day he used to turn to Hulk only at night, and that's kind of what this is doing right now. So I like this kind of let's go back to basics and figure out what these characters or who they were and embrace it. So it's pretty good so far. Infinity Wars number 1 of 6. I just want to bring this up. Jerry Dugan, Mike Dodato. As the Infinity Stones come to Earth, so too comes the war for control over them. But none who wield the stones know the truth about the power they contain or what it takes to bring them to their end. The nature of the universe itself hangs in the balance as we learn the answers. The question on everybody's lips since Infinity War's prime, who is Requiem? Jerry Dugan, Mike Dodato Jr. look into the infinite and bring the truth to light. I want to bring this up because it's if you watch the movies, obviously you know about the Infinity Stones, and this might interest you. I just find it curious, though, that this isn't a bigger deal if it has to be an Infinity Stone story. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of major players. We got Black Widow, we got we got Doctor Strange, you got Captain Marvel.
You can definitely tell that this was from the person that was showrunning Legacy, not the new person. Like, I think they had laid out too much groundwork so this storyline has to happen. But I don't think whoever the new VP is or whatever, the guy running Marvel Comics right now wanted to do this story, but he had to roll with it because they were too far along.
Oh, there you go, Marvel Comics. I don't think anything else. You guys don't get Weapon X anymore, right?
No.
And there we go. Let's see here. Let's go on to Garrett.
Go Power Rangers number 12.
Go Power Rangers number 12. That's Boom Studios. This is Ryan Parat Dan Mora. No description here. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Maybe because it's on this very cover. I don't know. But what do you think? Go Power Rangers, Alex. How's Go doing?
You know, Garrett and I talk about every time one of these Power Ranger books comes out. I think Go really is that character study for you, gets you the 5 characters you care about. At least for me, care about. Mighty Morphin was always my go-to team. Actually introduced one of my favorite characters, and she's only been in like 3 issues, is the other Kimberly. I really love Go. I was telling Garrett, at least when I think Shattered Dimensions ends, I will probably drop Mighty Morphin, but I think I'm on Go, if nothing else, for that Dan Mora art.
That variant cover that's in homage to the Goonies is awesome. Tempting to get, but not going to get it. But still.
Do you guys still get Animosity?
No.
No, well, there we go. Adios.
I've actually got a few more books that Marvin may have skipped. On Dark Horse, we've got the Quantum Age from World of Black Hammer number 2 comes out by Jeff Lemire.
Oh yeah, let me see. I missed Dark Horse completely.
It doesn't have a photo; it just says image coming soon.
Quantum, a rogue Martian joins forces with the down and out heroes of the Quantum League, only to find themselves on the run from the powerful and oppressive militia forces. Shocking events come to light from both the Martians' past and the Leaguers' ties to the heroes of Black Hammer's farm. This is Wilfredo Torres and Jeff Lemire. I'm assuming that, Alex, when you brought this up this week, you're like, hey, Marvin gave this book. I was like, I don't remember this first issue coming out, ever. So is it good?
I really enjoyed it.
I haven't read issue 1 yet.
It gave you a little bit more back information from when Barbie gets sent down. It's got that kind of, what was that book? Invisible Republic, where aliens can look like people, but they have a way to check your DNA. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of it's scary, not horror, just scary situational book. So I'm all for this. And of course, building on that Black Hammer lore is spectacular.
And C's number 1, Ann Nocente and David Aja. The bees are swarming, but what do they know that we don't? The rich have built walls around their wealth and scrambled into escape rockets. The romantic and the ruthless cross over in the lawless wilds of Zone B. A few cankerous aliens have come to collect the last dregs of humanity's essence from the celestial embryo bank. One of them falls in love. This is the new, or one of Karen Berger's Dark Horse Comics book. Alex, you're picking up this book for David Aja, I believe.
Oh, I say this. I'm blind buying. I know Ann Nocente, Garrett's favorite writer.
I'm making a mistake.
But I love David Aja, and this is one of those things that the art for me will be the saving.
Ruined. It'll be ruined.
Looking at the preview here, actually, the art looks pretty good. So might be something I check out too, Alex. Once you catch a look at it, let me know how it
Once
goes.
you see that text, though, art will be ruined.
The Raid 1 of 4.
Garrett, I've read garbage like Man of Steel. Can't be much.
I said it was garbage too.
I know, but I'm just telling
Green
you that.
Arrow number 17 from New 52, and then come back.
Now watch, when I read it and it's pure gold and immaculately written, because I read some of her stuff from Catwoman. I agree. She's not the best writer, but I also have seen what David Aja can put out, and his artwork is so spectacular that hopefully it will fix all the horrible words I've seen with beautiful, beautiful pictures.
She wrote a story for Batman Black and White. Actually, was pretty good. So I don't. That's the only thing.
Best of luck to you guys.
That's the thing I read from her, and I thought it was pretty good. Raid.
When she gets that Eisner and she's the best writer of 2018, and Garrett's like, those guys told me.
Don't worry, I'll never feel that way.
Raid 1 of 4, Ali Masters and Budi Satawan. Taking place during the events of the second movie, the Raid's main character, Rama, is trapped in prison, and he has to protect the undercover cop as well as himself. Meanwhile, Jakarta crime boss Beto is causing havoc in the outside world as he strives to gain more and more power. And he's ably assisted by two familiar faces, Hammer Girl and Baseball Batman. Alex, we love ourselves the Raid. And here we go, 1 of 4. The Raid is coming out. What do you think? You used to it in comic form, or you just want to see those action scenes?
You know, in all honesty, I think Garrett was telling me about that. It's coming out in issues. It must have been like last week or 2 weeks ago. Once you said Hammer Girl and Batboy, you know what? I may get it.
Hey, if you have access to a computer, check out this preview. This thing actually looks pretty great.
Which company is that?
Titans Comics. It has, if you go like to the second page of the previews, it has good enough panel work where it has that kind of kinetic energy of the movies, and I think I might check this thing out. I like the Raid enough to check it out. It's a unique enough story with like Hammer Girl, like you said, Baseball, Batman. There we go. TMNT Cerebus, number 1, Dave Sims, Ben Hops, Dave Sims, Gustave Dore. I just wanted to bring this up, Alex. Are you interested enough in TMNT to get this kind of a little miniseries?
Hang on, I gotta find it first. I don't know what you're even talking about yet.
Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Pollock, Picasso holding on the top 4 places of the Fortune 500. Multi-billionaires, Pollock declares the TMNC greater than Jack Kirby. Teenage Mutant. Oh, this isn't TMNT. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Service. I thought it said Turtles and Service. So I mean,
I'm looking. I was like, those don't look like the Turtles I know.
It's basically a parody. Do you enjoy the Turtles that much? You can read a parody of them. That's what I want to know.
You know what? I probably could, because the Turtles are a parody of Daredevil, and I don't mind people making fun of the Turtles unless they're bitching that they're not in their own book. Garrett, get over it.
Garrett, what do you think? We're on August 1st. What should somebody pick up? What's going to be your pick?
I'm going to say Leviathan. I read the preview a long time ago, and it's been on my list for something to look forward to for a while now. So definitely interested in picking that up.
Alex?
I know Garrett's going to disagree with this choice, but I'm going to say The Seeds, number 1. I want to see me some current Aja art. He hasn't done anything in a long time, other than a few Star Wars covers. So by all means, give me a 4-issue run with him doing all the work.
And I'm going to pick Captain America number 2. And the first issue it might have been perfect in my mind. And I am going to enjoy and see what Coates does with the next issue and does with the run. And I am really looking forward to it. So what do you think? I looked outside, Alex. I came inside. It rained for a half second today. Otherwise sunny. And then we got, the weather's all over the place. Are you knowing what's going on?
I actually had to drink a little bit when I got off work today. It was sunny out, and then I heard some thunder and some lightning, and I wasn't sure if Thor was coming down to visit me or if something had happened. I was confused, and I'm a meteorologist, so it's bad. Where we live, you never know what you're going to get. It's kind of like a box of chocolates given to you by a stranger.
So, Alex, you think so? You popped a couple beers because you heard the thunder and thought Thor was on his way over, and then he never stopped by. So then you had to drink it yourself.
Well, kind of. I felt let down. I opened up all these beers thinking he was going to show up, and we're going to share some times and some more stories. He never showed up, so I had to drink some more.
What do you think? Maybe he's tricking you into alcoholism. Is that possible?
It crossed my mind before I got too hammered.
Garrett, speaking of getting hammered, those roads. Speaking of getting hammered, those roads are being torn up out there with this mixed up weather. How do they look tomorrow, though?
There's a lot of great books coming out tomorrow. I think if there was any company winning tomorrow, it's definitely Marvel. I mean, Captain America 2, Mortal Hulk number 4,
Deadpool number 3.
I don't know about Deadpool, but
Dude,
Deadpool.
I love Deadpool.
It was good. I liked the first 2 issues. I guess we didn't talk about that one either, but Deadpool 2 was really good. I like that it's kind of like one shot still, but it's similar to Mortal Hulk. They're like is a storyline that's going over all the issues, but the main issue itself is like a one shot. But I think you definitely need to get to your shop on time. Make sure you have everything pulled, because there's a lot of books this week that you don't want to miss out on.
It still makes me crack up that Alex literally talks about the weather. He does not take it as a metaphor, and you won't talk about these roads. You actually talk about the comics.
I've never talked about the roads. I've always been a traffic guy. Like, I've never talked about the condition of the
where was the traffic
roads.
information? There was no traffic information in that.
I say, I told you, a traffic is in comic traffic. Relevant.
Oh, see, I literally tell you
comics.
that this week is going to be sunny, or it's going to be rainy, or your balls are going to stick to your thigh. I don't tell you that the books are great.
That's why you're the fucking weatherman.
People listen to this show.
Watch out for that thunder strike called Thor.
For legit information about the traffic. They're going to wake up at 7 tomorrow, and they know they're going to listen to the show, and they say, Garrett did not tell me anything about this rush hour traffic.
Yes. Well, we don't all live in the same place. All you need to know is there's a lot of good books coming out, so get to your shop early before they're gone.
That is Wednesday Comics Forecast. Alex does what the show says, and Garrett decides to go another route. Just like in life, every once in a while there's a fork in the road. You go left, you go right, you get to decide. Garrett goes left and falls into a pothole, it sounds like, and me and Alex go right, and we live our lives until the end. Garrett, what do you think? If you fell into a pothole, can you get out of it?
Yeah, I'll call Domino's.
That's hypothetical. I don't think you'll get out of it. My name is Marvin, and this has been the Wednesday Comics Forecast.
I'm Alex.
Garrett.
Hey, everyone. Keep reading those books.